Hello, here's my latest painting. I've been working on this for a few days. I did like an underdye of indigo and madder, it gives me this great like natural base color that is a little variable, and I love how it's like the purple of shadows, but like the purple of the light. This is not what the maple trees look like right now. I'm a little behind, and these are the spring maples. It's almost July, and everything is more like fully green and even starting towards the reddish hues on because it's full of seeds and stuff. So here's my friend's been hanging out. I could just put that on there as a permanent piece, but he'll fly away. What I wanted to talk about was how, like, a lot of people take, you can make a photograph of painting, and that's like a really popular thing to do. And I mean, you can look at a photograph and then you can paint exactly what that photograph is. From my experiences, in, in photography and video is especially photography, it's this one moment, and it's not how we actually perceive the world around us. The um that single moment, I can definitely like take a snapshot with my eyes and remember what something looks like, but even that snapshot is like a second or two. And especially here in the forest, like the light is just constantly changing, and actually everywhere, because we're moving and the things around us are moving, we don't see the world as a static moment. And there are some other artists, I looked it up and I should know names, but I don't, and that developed this thought quite a bit into like movement. And you'll still see that some people will like do paintings of like headlights, or the way that it moves. This painter in particular, I'm thinking of this artist, I believe he did bicycles and people, and so you end up with like a repeated design. That what I've been thinking of is it's almost like it's a proportionate thing. So when you look at a bird flapping its wings, you don't see a bird, just a bird there perfectly in feather in one spot. That's why you look at a photograph and you're like, oh wow, look, I've never seen that, because that's not what we perceive. What we perceive is that bird body being almost like electrons, like the wings are in one place more than another. And so the likelihood that they'll be in any one place we can figure, but we don't actually know where the wings are as they are in that pattern. With our eye, we see wing beats. I can see them as like a figure eight. There, and I think that what we see is a blur, and but within that blur there is a pattern, and what we see is the pattern of where that object is, or where that part is, in more likely to be over time. And so we can pretty much make like an orbit, I'm like it really is sort of similar to how we look at electrons, because they're so fast that we just don't know the exact location, but we know that it's a probability of it being in this location and being in all of these locations. It's somewhere in there. So when we see the bird, we see the body relatively easily. The wings become a blur, and probably not all birds, but especially like ducks, and I see a figure eight that they're doing with their wings. So anyways, to Babylon quite a bit. Have been. I can paint from. Here's these little crawfish. I'm gonna paint these in a little more. I can paint from a photograph or from a living object, and the living object I think is a very cool way to go. But I am mostly resisting painting from photographs. I still take pictures and I might use them to jog my memory, but what I really want is that memory, that impression. I'm not the first one to ever think of that. But basically, the feeling, the moment, what we remember in our eye. And it actually does not look like a photo. This is the Siuslaw River. That bear was pretty big. I think it was a male. It was almost as big as a female brown bear. It was definitely a black bear. I've seen a couple other. I even saw a little cubby, not here, but along the road. And they were feeding on the grass at this time. It was fresh and clean, or, just fresh and light green. And the bears love to eat grass. And the shoots, what I noticed is that when they threw them down into the water where the bear had been, or even where people had been, there were a whole bunch of crawfish and even the salamanders. I can put a little salamander on here too somewhere. You're like on the edge of the water looking up. There we go. Look, even the light looks good.